Hi guys, welcome to another boozed up unboxing. This time I'm unboxing a keyboard while enjoying an undying cocktail. Cheers guys. Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's been a while since I had one of these. I was devastated when I found out The Hobbit no longer serves their usual named cocktails. They're just called something lame like Wraith and Knight and Lich and that sort of thing. I was devastated. But anyway, to the actual unboxing. So I got this in, I think it was Friday. I didn't have time to unbox it until now. Let's go take a look. This box is mostly air, but that's okay. Should be an interesting one here. Cool. Yeah, well, bagged air, as it turns out. There you go. Let me get rid of that. Go away. Wow, that's lying there in a very, very precarious position, by the way. Anyway, it is the K70 Core. So Corsair contacted me about this, and I've done quite a few K70s already. It's such a recognizable model, right? It's basically Corsair's version of the, what to Razer is the Black Widow. It's just such a recognizable common mechanical keyboard. And this is a new version with a whole bunch of actual new features as well. So I figured, yeah, sure, the K70 is such an institution. It's like a modern 101. You just see them everywhere. So let's see what they made of it. RGB mechanical gaming keyboard, pre-lubricated Corsair red switches. I'm not familiar with Corsair red switches, but I'm sure it's just a rebrand or something like that. But they are pre-lubed. That's a new thing. Quiet key press with 2 sound dampening layers. So I'm guessing that means it's got foam in it. That's also new. Effortless RGB and macro control via IQ. We're gonna have an interesting chapter during the review about that, I'm sure. Cool. Let's see. Standard bottom row, keyboard layout, English, UK. It has an ANSI model here on it, but I asked for a UK ISO model. If at all possible, I prefer that layout. Oh, this is PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation. Yeesh, you can even use this on consoles. Fucking hell. Okay, what does it say at the back here in absolutely tiny letters? Pre-lubricated, blah, 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 blah. Radiant perky RGB backlighting. Onboard storage to save up to 5 custom profiles. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, not that much that I haven't said already. So let's cut these. Yes. Cool. So, this looks very different from the Corsair boxes I've seen in the past. It's probably some sort of... Very nice, by the way. Delicious. Yeah, maybe they updated it a while ago. Admittedly, the K70s I reviewed were... I guess they're almost considered retro by now, but... Still, warranty guide, blah 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 blah. That's actually only warranty. I don't think that says anything interesting in it. No, go away. And of course the palm rest. That's a classic as well. Wonder if it's still the same. So for those of you who are a little bit newer to the channel, it's not going to be a review, obviously. It's just first impressions thing. The actual review is going to have a much more in-depth comparison, also to the previous generations of K70. For now, I'm just, looking at this and reminiscing. Oh, look at that. Wow, the styling is completely different. I mean, completely different. excuse me, based on the pictures I had seen, I guess they were not very good pictures, I thought that it still looked very much the same as previously, but this looks completely different. Wow, look at that, yeah. So, previous Corsair models had a very distinctive top case shape. It had a kind of dip in the bottom here that kind of went up and then down, and that's what you would slot this into. And yeah, and very sharp angular features at the top, whereas this has really rounded shape, and of course a massive knob here as well, and there's one on the keyboard too. Yeah, they used to have a lying down roller rather than an upright one. Man, it looks so different. This I would not have recognized this as a K70, to be honest. Wow, I did not expect that. Cool. So let's take this thing off. It feels, I don't know, I think it still has aluminium top plate. Yeah, it still has aluminium top plate, but it's almost invisible now. It's kind of set within the plastic case, whereas originally it was the other way around. It was a metal top plate, I guess, with a plastic case set underneath, but the only thing you looked at was the anodized aluminium plate. And actually, even the aluminium itself looks very different. The aluminium doesn't look like the brushed aluminium they had before either, and it now actually looks like the plastic. Wow, I had not expected that. I do try to not look too heavily into the things I'm gonna unbox, not like the really small details, because I like being surprised a little bit. I need to know whether it's worth looking at, obviously, but details like this I had not looked into. It's surprisingly refreshing, this cocktail. You wouldn't think with the amount of sugar in it. Cool. So the armrest, it's got to be magnetic. Oh, it looks, also this looks very different. It looks not that kind of steel plating, except it's plastic, and it says Corsair in the middle. They used to have a very different type of armrest. Wow, they really did some sort of complete restyling. Cool. So there's no extras in this box at all, by the way. There's no keycap puller. There's nothing. Yeah. Okay, so switches, yeah, makes sense. I think it's not hot swappable. Or they would have mentioned it. Is this hot swappable? Probably not, right? No, I don't think so. That would have been a good feature to add. I can already say that. One of my friends whom I gave a K70, one of the older ones, one of the keys on his keyboard is now, I think it's chattering or something like that. It's having some sort of problem. And the older K70s were a fucking nightmare to take apart. So just changing one switch is a real pain in the ass, because just opening the case is a pain in the ass, and then you got to desolder it and whatnot. Whereas so many keyboards nowadays are hot swappable, and you just pluck one out and stick a new one in. But with this, that's obviously not an option. Right, let me pause the video real quick, and then we'll get to connecting this thing. Right, so let's see how this performs. I actually have to plug in the keyboard on my tower down here now. I don't have any spare ports left. It's I don't think it has it doesn't have a detachable case. I've reviewed so many keyboards with detachable cables, lately. It's been a while since I had to plug it in like this. Okay then. It looks like the same backlighting that it was a while ago, which is, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's a very specific backlighting. It's like white alternated by bright colors. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds very generically RGB, but the Corsair backlighting is a bit different. Anyway, let's see. Ooh, that is wow. Okay, this does not feel like a standard red switch. Yeah, am I going mad here? This feels much stiffer. Yeah, much stiffer. That's so weird. This feels like MX Blacks. Am I going crazy here? Let me just grab this thing here, which is not exactly the same, but yeah, this feels completely different. Okay, admittedly, these are very different switches, but these are light switches, and just comparing the weight between these two, yeah, no, there's something with this. I need to ask them what the deal is with these switches. They feel so unlike MX Reds. Do I have an MX Red board within grabbing distance? No. Okay. By the way, this is going to be the next review. I know it's taken a while, but I really want to give this some extra time in the oven because I want to do this one properly. Anyway, so interesting. Let's see. That's working nicely. Looks like a macro button here. That's probably for programming. Other than that, textured spacebar. So yeah, I can already see that there have been a lot of changes with their previous K70s. So they changed font a couple of times, I think. I can't remember whether the K100 I reviewed a while ago had this same font change. I think it had. Yes, I think it had already changed to this different font, which is a much better font, normal font that doesn't look like, you know, stupid cyber warfare. Interesting. Wow, it's... Yeah, I'm really curious to see... how this is going to perform. Yeah, interesting. Wow, cool. Well, so a normal K70 is just a very basic, standard, premium mechanical keyboard. If you want a full size, you know, it's together with a Black Widow. That's one of the names that immediately come to mind, I guess. It's... And they changed a bunch this time. I really wonder how IQ performs now. The software IQ used to be extremely terrible, and I'm not a big fan of keyboard software to begin with. So we'll have a look at that. Overall, though, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, sorry if I keep saying interesting a lot, but this is so not what I expected. It's so different, and you wouldn't expect a major change from such a standardized keyboard as a K70. It'll be a little bit like if IBM brought out a new version of a Model M and it looked like, well, like this. Actually, that's a little bit, yeah. It might just look like a standard 101 full size, but man, it's just so many little details that are different, and I've covered so many K70s. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling, I think, for the moment. Does it say anything else on the back? No, not that much. Although I can already see a lack of screws for dismantling. Oh god. Come on, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for the moment. Yes, thank you for watching, and I hope to be able to bring you this review next week. Hopefully not too late next week. We'll see how far we get, and I'll see you soon, guys.